Welcome everyone to Kastle Kraft's first devlog. I thought I'd start off by introducing myself. I'm Scott Hudson. I'm the solo developer for Kastle Kraft, and it's been quite a journey so far. Kastle Kraft's roots come from my enjoyment of playing both Factorio, which sucked away several hundred hours of my life, and then Satisfactory. And let me tell you, Satisfactory sucked away at least 1,000+ hours of my life, but I really enjoyed playing it. And as I was playing it, I started watching videos on people playing it, but I also started watching videos on people making Unreal Engine projects, and I'm like, wow, I think I could do that. And so for me, Kastle Kraft is now a passion project, and it's something I just really like doing. Hopefully I'll get it to a state where I can release it and you guys get to play it, but for now it's a journey and we'll see where it goes. That being said, I do have a day job, so I am a solo developer, which means I got nights, weekends, and then I got my family, which you can see in the picture. I got my lovely kids and my awesome wife, and they take a lot of my time too. So this might be a slow process, but I'll try to get you guys updates as much as I can. That being said, let me give you a little background. I started learning Unreal Engine about 8 months ago. I spent 3 or 4 months just really getting deep into it, and then I had to take a little bit of pause. It was a little bit after the holidays, just work got busy, life got busy. A couple months later, I was able to pick it back up, and when I picked it back up, one of the things I noticed was that, hey, look, although I was getting pretty decent at doing stuff in Unreal, I really kept getting stuck on needing assets. And so I'm like, hey, look, I'm tired of just going and buying stuff off the asset store for Unreal, and I'd rather just try to make some on my own. So that's when I decided, hey, you know what? Let's start to learn Blender. So about 2 months ago, maybe just a little bit less, I did the donut project that everybody does in Blender, and the donut looked okay, but it was my first step into Blender, and by no means am I an expert at it. But now I'm starting to make my own assets, and that's really cool because now the whole thing will be mine. That being said, I don't know if I'll ever be able to make characters. I just don't know if I've got the skill for that, but we'll see where time goes. So our characters for now will definitely be assets off the asset store. So with that, you got a little bit of background of me, got a little bit of background of just my knowledge of Unreal and Blender, which is definitely limited. So I've got a long ways to go and a lot to learn. With that all being said, now it's time to jump into Kastle Kraft, and I'll give you your first look. Alright, so here we are in Kastle Kraft. I've just launched the game, and you can kind of see some of the assets we made. The grass, there's the fort, barely in the background. And so what we'll do here is we'll just kind of run through a little bit of how the game would play. Here we're going to talk to Barry.
Hey there, lad. It is time for me to step out of the shadows. Do you want to help me build a kingdom?
He's going to narrate what he's doing, and
grand. Then let's get you to work.
A quest or an objective.
I will need 10 Farium ore and 10
That's going to end up
logs.
being up in the top right
He will
corner
need a
once he
pickaxe to
gets
mine
done
ore and would
giving
axe
his
to
little
chop
spiel
trees.
here.
You can
And
find
he's just
them
about
both
done.
on the
He's gonna
rock
tell you where
over
to get an
there.
axe or there. And now you can see up in the corner you're going to need to go get 10 Farium ore and 10 logs. So here we go, get a pickaxe. I have a little trouble here, kind of just looking at them, so I had to move around. There we go. Get nut now. So now we got a pickaxe, and we'll get the axe. And you'll see that I got the axe, so it's not going to let me do it. Move over the pickaxe, and now I can start to mine. And remember, the core of the game here is collecting resources, processing them, and turning those into items, and then those items into more items, just like any kind of factory game. So we're starting out with the simple stuff, and here we're getting 10 Farium ore. You can see that's enough to complete the quest. And I'm going to come over here and get some stone. And really doing that just so you can see the build system here in a little bit. And it takes a lot of stone. I probably should figure out a way to get more stone quickly so when I do these demos you can see it. But the grass you're seeing in the background, made all that in Blender myself, put my own material on it. I'm not sure about the waves right now. We'll see where those go. Heading over here to get some coperium, which is copper. So just doing that so I can show you how the furnace works here in a little bit. Get a little bit of that, and obviously we need some wood to complete this quest, so we're going to go over here. Again, got the pickaxe, can't use it, need the axe, move over to that. And we're going to start chopping the trees. Like mini games, if you chop enough, it'll go to a stump. If you chop the stump too much, it will go ahead and eliminate the tree completely. Otherwise, if you don't remove the stump, the tree will regrow. I've actually got the regrow rate so fast right now you can't chop the tree fast enough to get rid of the stump, but when it goes live it will. So here you can see we just have a whole bunch of items. We got everything we need for the quest. We could go turn that in, which is what we're going to do. Come over here to the turn-in chest. That's an asset I will replace with my own, but because so far that's just one we bought. But all right, here we're turning in the wood and the ferrium ore that we needed, and we're going to hit complete. Barely's going to say, "Hey, great job."
Now press
now
the
you can
key
build
to
a fort.
build the fort you
now you
just
can obviously
unlocked.
see the fort's already there, but when the game gets going, we'll actually have you build the fort with the build system, which I'll show off here in just a minute. So what I want to show now is kind of the tech tree, and that's what this little tome is. This is a tech tree where you can unlock, the bars and unlock new enemies that will attack you, and the crafting table, as you can see there. So once you have a crafting table, you can go over to it and turn items in without having buildings. So just kind of a typical crafting table type stuff. So here I am just picking different tech in the tech tree, and you can see it updates the quest of what you need to go get, or the objective. So we're going to leave it at the crafting table, and we're going to go take a quick tour. Or I'm sorry, we're going to go do a little bit more mining here. Had a little transition here because I forgot the tech tree. But yep, we're going to take a tour around the castle. So this is the first castle, which is a fort, and up in the corners we'll have some ballista to shoot the enemies that will be attacking you. I haven't talked about those much. I think there's a section later where I'll talk about that, but you will definitely have enemies attacking. And how that works is as you mine materials, you'll have up in the top left corner where it says skeleton right now, you'll have vitriol being produced. Every time you mine something, chop something, you'll produce more vitriol. And then once that bar up there gets all the way to the right, and I don't think it's working right now, just because I didn't want the enemies to spawn, but once you get enough vitriol, an enemy will spawn and will start trying to attack your castle and or you. So here you can see a furnace. This is kind of how all buildings will work. You can put materials into them. You can select a recipe. Here I'm going to smelt the ore into bars, and I'm going to end up with a ferrium bar, which I can then pick, drag it over into my inventory. So there you go. Just pretty typical stuff there. Here I'm going to show the build system. That's why I got a whole bunch of stone earlier. You can see I'm going to build two foundations. You can see how they snap to each other. I do have the grass coming through. I do have a way to make that go away, and we're definitely going to implement that. Just haven't done it yet. Need some more stone here so I can show you more of the build system. And really, the build system is going to be used for everything. The fort that I was talking about earlier, that's how it will get built, is through the build system. You'll be able to put mines over these ore deposits so that you don't have to sit and collect all the materials by hand. Eventually you'll be able to automate that. And then my eventual goal is to have peons, or I don't know what you call them, peasants, taking items from one building to the next. So you'll see all these people wandering between buildings, taking their items from one to the other. So you won't have conveyor belts, but you'll have a whole bunch of people. So here you can see you can build walls on top, and you can see the costs for each item that you build is kind of just up there. That one's a ferrium bar, a log, and some stone. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over and build and add on to the castle wall there. I placed some down, and you can see that one can be built but I'm missing materials. It's orange, meaning, hey, you can build it there, but you're missing it. So I run back over here and pick up some more stone. I need 25 of them for this. But as I was saying, I want to have the peasants or peons, I'm not sure what to call them yet, that take the items from one building to the next, so you don't have to do all that yourself. That'll be automated and be cool because there'll be a whole bunch of people running around. And the enemies can attack them. So now you can see green, good, red's bad. There will be locking points on the items when you build them, and if you can't lock onto them, you won't be able to build it. You can see I'm not getting red. I'm getting red there because I think it's actually the floor, the foundation, or not the foundation, but the landscape that it's running into. I can build in certain areas. I can't build on others. If you run into something, it won't let you build. And there you can see I think it looks like it's running into the landscape, and there I did build the one section. Now what you're going to see me do is kind of by accident. Here in a minute, I got to go gather a little bit more stuff. Yes, 10 more stone. I'm going to go gather that real quick. I'm going to build a wall, and then I'm going to by accident, I forgot I had that in the testing. I'm going to actually blow up the walls, and that's kind of cool because that's going to show you how when enemies come in and attack the walls, they'll take damage and then eventually be destroyed, and you'll have a whole bunch of rubble lying around. But what you'll see is after I build this and destroy it by accident, instead of having a solid wall, though, you'll have like a ghost wall. and you'll be able to go and get resources, maybe gold, I haven't decided yet, something that will allow you to rebuild those resources, or rebuild the destroyed buildings, whether it's a wall or a fort or a castle, whatever it happens to be. Also, I will let the peasants that are moving your stuff around be killed by the enemies, and probably gold and or resources again to get those back to life. I'm not going to make it so if you get completely wiped out, it's so hard to rebuild that you can't do it. The other thing you can see is I'm just able to delete items as well. So you'll see I'm going to hold. So if you build something and don't really like it, you can just get rid of it, and we will have it return all the resources if you delete it. So you don't. It's not a resource hog. You build something you don't really like where it is, you can change that. And you can see all the pieces of the wall and the black ghost of the wall. So eventually you'll be able to rebuild that with a fraction of what it cost to build it to begin with, or like I said, maybe some gold. I think that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. So there you go. It's kind of the game. I think it's got a good foundation. I think I'm going to run around the furnace here just to show you. This was like the second thing I ever made in Blender. Looks okay. Probably will get replaced because I'm getting better at Blender, so I think I can do better than that now, but still pretty good for the second thing I made. I made that after the donut. That's it for this devlog. Please hit like if you like this content, and hit subscribe if you want to be notified for future devlogs. Thanks, and have a great day.